faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, it's Walter, and I am back. I am just praying to God I will not have any issues tonight. I spend a good amount of time trying to find stories that I could read tonight. Now, the theme or the title of my episode tonight, I came up with in the middle of the week, and I am going to try to stick with it, but I doubt I will, because when I was looking through these stories, I found so much more that I want to talk about. And actually, why it was called that was because I was listening to Ken Matthews this week, and he covered Rush Limbaugh twice this week, because Rush Limbaugh is still out because of complications with his cancer, and he might be starting a different treatment. So it was great because I really like Ken Matthews. Like, I don't like some of his, Rush's hosts that he has to cover his show. And one being is, God love him, but is, there's one I do like besides Ken Matthews, and that's Todd Herman. He's really good. But then there's this other guy. Well, I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's got a British accent. He's from Canada. God, why can't I remember his name? But he drives me crazy, and he's really good. I can't stand his voice. Yeah, so anyway, he had Donald Trump Jr. on this week, Ken Matthews on Friday's show when he covered Rush. And he did a good 15, 20-minute segment. I just had a look real quick. Because I can't remember the guess. Oh, Mark Stein. That was easy. Yeah, Mark Stein is a very smart man. He's very funny, very informative, but I just can't. I can't deal with his voice. And I'm a big British in person, people who have a British accent, because for some strange reason, Mark Stein does, but he just drives me crazy, so I can't listen to him. So anyway, it's a lot of the stuff that I always mention on my podcast and with friends, and I never really hear any responses, obviously, not from listeners. That was like right on the money of what I've been complaining about for many years. And it was like, okay, so I kind of just got to the meat of what really kind of says what I do. And I cut that down to 3 minutes. But then, friend Todd sends me this segment from, I think it's like the Poconos or something like that. So there's this woman, she's a representative, local representative, and she did a video thing on, or whatever you call it, like a video segment on Facebook, I believe. And it was really good because she's trying to tell, like, people from New York and New Jersey, you got to stop coming into Pennsylvania. So that was really good. But unfortunately, that's like another 3 minutes there. And I've already wasted about, so it's going to be a segment that I'm going to be just playing this stuff. But then I popped up a bunch of stories of interest to me and hopefully to you. It was funny when I'm like trying to throw this stuff up. I saw this one advertisement for a comic book that I thought was hilarious, and the name of the comic book is called Dingbats. So I saw that. I just had to point that out real quick. Dingbats. I think that is so hilarious. I get easily amused, I know. One of the issues we have like this guy in his pickup truck. He races. He actually got in a confrontation with my dad the other day. I don't know how serious it was, but it scared the hell out of my dad. And he said the guy gave him a stare down contest. Like my dad, quote unquote, said he's nuts. And he says he's a pagan. It's like, yeah, we haven't heard that in a while. Or a warlock. You haven't heard that in a very long time. Because I told this other friend, Todd, this, and he says, yeah, I haven't heard that terminology in years. So the guy is totally nuts. The other weekend I went over to Walmart, and some guy like deliberately walked by me, and he started coughing without covering his mouth. And that's an issue. We have this even at my job. Apparently somebody was coughing, didn't cover his mouth, and it pissed off management. So now everyone at where I work, and I hear a lot of other places are doing this too, but my place of employment now, you really have to do this. You have to wear a face mask, and usually what a lot of people do, because you can't breathe with those damn face masks. We put it over our mouths, but we don't put it over our nose because it's very difficult to breathe. And I have restrictions from a prior job that I had to wear a face mask, and it was like, yeah, I can't do this. So now it's mandatory. You have to wear one. I mean, I've seen people in supermarkets, they're being told that you have to wear rubber gloves and face mask right now. And it's a lot of it's because people just don't follow the rules. Like, stay at home. That's very simple. You will hear that with that segment from, again, because I marked her name on here. I wanted to just do the Ken Matthews one, but the Rosemary Brown one was really good too. So she's a representative from around like near the Poconos, and maybe she'll mention exactly what it's about because I never get anything straight. So I've read segments. I mean, I've seen stuff. I've seen segments where, well, I have to really. I was last night. This is why I'm doing a late show too. I spent until 6 a.m. once again trying to put Linux on my desktop. I might have to just go back to, for all intents and purposes, I need to go back to just a Linux laptop I have. It's fine. It's just a pain in the neck to hook up. But the issue is, and I saw this. There was a supermarket somewhere. I think it might have been Pennsylvania. Was somebody? It was a woman or whatever. Deliberately coughed without covering her mouth, and I think they said she spat on all the produce or some of it. Either way, the supermarket had to throw like all the produce out in the supermarket because she like deliberately spit on it or coughed all over it. And you can't take any chances. So to me, that's like very childish behavior. And I see more and more of this stuff with people, grown adults who don't want to grow up. You know what was funny today? I'm watching Me TV, and it's out of, I forget, that might even actually be out of like Delaware County, New Jersey. That's not where it's the main, location is for that channel, Me TV, Channel 2 for us. But they had a commercial on for children being abused. Like, they had these kids reenacting like, oh, don't hit me, please, and who you should call. And it was the commercial was directed for Pennsylvania only. It wasn't like one of these national commercials on child abuse. No, it was for Pennsylvania because it said at the end, it said Pennsylvania. So apparently that's got to be a really big issue right now, more so than ever before, where children are being abused, physically abused. I mean, what is going on in this state? It's obviously not a very good thing, I'll tell you that much. When you got to put an infomercial on, not an infomercial, but a commercial on who you call when your kids are being beat the crap out of, or who the kids should call. I mean, I think, and these were like little kids, and teenagers too. It's like, stop the abuse. I forget. I'm just like, wow, this is pretty bad. This is really bad. So anyway, yeah, there's that. We have people at work who are just very careless, and they just do things out of spite. I think quite a few of the folks we work with aren't going to get this You know what? I didn't actually post the story, or I did send it to a friend, but I did find a link for who is eligible and who is not eligible for this stimulus package. So basically, the people that are entitled, or anybody who has a Social Security number, and not for illegal immigrants, because that's one thing that really pissed off AOC. I can't say her name right, so I'm just going to say AOC. I have some story buried in there about that. But yeah, it says AOC blasts coronavirus stimulus, blames GOP for not granting checks to illegal immigrants. So, what part of illegal immigrants doesn't she understand? I don't know. So I don't see it, but yeah, I did send it to a friend. There was like the requirements for, which I thought actually I did post, but you know what, right now I can't find it. And I got so many stories, I probably wouldn't even be able to get to it. But there is a web link that tells you all the details. I actually looked it up for my parents, because what I believe is even people that are retired should be, as long as you're a legal citizen and you're alive, you will be getting this $1,200. And it's not that much money. And it's funny because actually I might have found it from somebody on Facebook, a friend on Facebook who had posted the story. And then I just kind of forwarded it to other people or a friend. But basically, they said the cutoff is $75,000, but what the cutoff is, it's not really a cutoff. If you make like $75,000, you get the full amount of the $1,200. If you make over $75,000 in a given year, they take $5 off the $1,200 for every $100 you made over $75,000 for the year. So that actually isn't that bad. I don't know where that came from. Reconnect your drive. Something disconnected from my computer. Ken Matthews always has this issue with his stuff. Something disconnected. I have no clue what. So I want to at least post this first audio story, because I ripped the audio off the video of Representative Rosemary Brown. I want to play that first. I'm going to put that in, and I'm actually going to listen to it myself again. Actually, I'm going to knock out my first story from Norristown Patch. Norristown areas where I live. Best case, worst case scenarios for coronavirus in eastern PA. That's where I live. If moderate social distancing measures are enforced, the greater Philadelphia area could see 2.8 million cases by mid-June, analysis show. Now, people aren't keeping their distance. That's the problem. People are it is much, much better where I live than it was. But that's like the best case scenario. Southeastern Pennsylvania, if moderate social distancing measures are enforced, the 5-county region of southeastern Pennsylvania could see 2.8 million cases of coronavirus by mid-June, an analysis show. However, if the most severe control measures are maintained, in that number could be limited to 99,000, with a peak in the late summer. Now, the thing is, I didn't even understand this, because I was looking up, because we have a lot of Indian folks, that this has been going on in places like India and across the globe since like 2019. So this really just kind of really blew up in the last couple months. Anyway, that story I was reading, it says that that's the conclusion of Columbia University research as reported by the New York Times, which compiled maps showing the estimated spread of the virus in every county in America under varying scenarios for control measures. And there's a lot more to this. And it actually breaks down Bucks County, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery County, and Philadelphia, which the cases just keep on increasing because, again, people just don't want to listen. So anyway, let me try to knock out these segments, and I'm going to kind of spread them a little bit apart because I'm already 15 minutes in. I like it seems like the sweet spot for me is under an hour. If I go a little over an hour, people kind of lose interest. God, people lose interest after 15 minutes with me. Well, let me put this segment in. Again, I found this at the last moment, and it's not the one that made me make the title for this episode, which is titled, my title is called That's It in a Nutshell. But since I did add an extra one, I do want to get this stuff knocked out. And I do want to put in the one by Rosemary. This is the one, this woman, like I said, she's a representative. She's Pennsylvania, but around the Poconos. So here we go.
Good afternoon. I thought it was important to touch base with you as you're seeing some press today regarding the quarantine of New York and New Jersey. The president has announced some thoughts of considering the quarantine of New Jersey, parts of New Jersey. Actually, I hope that that's considered all parts of New Jersey, but there is a lot of press on it, and I thought it was important for you to know what I'm doing and my concerns as well for our area. I know how our area lives. I know our area. I know your thoughts. I know your concerns, which I think are very much my concerns, is the way that we connect with New York and New Jersey on a normal basis. We are very thankful for our connections with New York and New Jersey, from tourism to employment to our families. But at this time, it is extremely critical that we distance ourselves, and that we distance ourselves formally so that we can calm the spread of COVID-19 and we can make sure that our residents and our hospitals function as best as possible. There has been consistent communication by myself to the governor and his office consistently about the concerns that I have with the interaction between New York and New Jersey as their caseloads build. I have worked very strongly in any effort that I can to help distance these contacts. As you know, I sent a strong, firm letter to one of our largest bus companies, Martz, in an effort to ask for their help, and they have halted their bus service, which was wonderful. I am very thankful for their help on that. I also sent a letter to Governor Wolf, Governor Cuomo, and Governor Murphy before this, asking them to come together in a combined message, asking people to stay at home in their primary residence and not jump state to state in order to help the situation and calm the spread as well. We are now listed as the 12th highest as far as confirmed cases by capita. That is for East Stroudsburg. This is a great concern. I came to my office today to tape this, and I went through a parking lot of a grocery store. 22 of those cars were New York and New Jersey. Out of about probably 50 were in the parking lot. It is very, very obvious that there's still a tremendous amount of interaction between these states, and we need to make sure we put a high focus on it. Unfortunately, I know the governor has had a tremendous amount on his plate. He has made some very difficult decisions. But today, he made a statement during his press conference when he was specifically asked about the Pocono region. And I'm going to post that press conference after this post, that you can review the full press conference and as well as his response. I was very disappointed in his response to the Pocono region and the concern. He did not feel it was that much of a concern at this time, and that I just disagree completely with the focus and attention to our area and to our borders. I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to know that I am going to be communicating even further with the governor. I'll be sending this video to the governor, and I'm asking for his help in any fashion as possible for the Pocono region to help with our borders. So again, I thank you for your patience. I thank you for your commitment and focus to staying home and doing your best to help our community, and I will continue to work for you in every way possible to help in this measure and any other concerns that you have. Thank you so much.
Okay, you know what? I just listened to that myself. So I like, what was it? She said number 12 in the nation is like the Poconos. That's pretty bad because, it's part of Pennsylvania. So I hope that I saw this. I hope you got something out of it. I know I did. Yeah. So people just don't take this stuff serious enough. What's kind of funny? I started, and it's one of the things I have a problem with all the time. I start talking about a certain topic, and then I don't finish it out. And I'm already like 20 minutes in, so I got to make sure to put this other segment in right away before, the end of the show. The one with Ken Matthews and Donald Trump Jr., because that one was really good as well. It's only like 3 minutes. But anyway, we had a person at work on Friday when I was at my job, and, I made it noted that somebody, we have to wear a face mask and stuff. I have a really hard time breathing with those on. I have, as I mentioned earlier on the show, that I have a restriction for my other job, which I'm going to bring in and show them, hey, if this is going to be a problem, let me know. I just want to make you well aware. I have a doctor's note that says I cannot wear a face mask. I've been suffering through it because I need the job. I need the coverage from the insurance, especially now. And, but I do have a very difficult time wearing a mask. So somebody takes it upon themselves. You have your whole entire face from your nose to your mouth, under your chin, covered with a face mask. It looks like a doctor's mask. And it fits tightly around your nose. But somebody is kind enough to spit gum on the ground of where our work area is, spit chewing gum. So that really pissed me off. Now, if they're spitting chewing gum on the ground, how do you know they're not spitting stuff into our products that go? I work for like a health care manufacturing company, so this stuff goes for people that are suffering from cancer, and other things. And that's really serious. I mean, you think it's funny or rebellious, but what it is really just real stupid. So that bothered me. Anyway, getting back on track. I just had to finish that thought. Yeah, I have a ton of stories. I'm not going to get through all these, trust me. But it was one from CBS News. I'm just going to look through them, and when I find a comfortable spot, I'll put the other segment and play with Ken Matthews, who covered for Rush on Friday. Coronavirus latest. SEPTA says 2 more employees tested positive for COVID-19. And I don't know when I got this story. Oh, March 26th. So it's probably not that long ago. It's only like 3 days ago. It's not that bad. Something like that. So, yeah, 2 more employees have tested positive for coronavirus. Officials say that the 2 employees are maintenance workers, but they do not work in the same location. The thing was, I heard about the coronavirus, by the way, is it also affects your kidneys, I believe. So I just shut down one story. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Coronavirus, latest news. Pennsylvania COVID-19 cases soar above 2,200 as more deaths reported across Delaware Valley. Philadelphia CBS News, the number of coronavirus cases in Pennsylvania has soared to 2,200. More deaths have been reported across the Delaware Valley once again. Health officials reported Friday an additional 531 COVID-19 cases, bringing the statewide total to 2,218, including 637 cases in Philadelphia. The number of coronavirus cases jumped by 154 on Friday in the city. So that's like nothing to laugh about. But here is something that's kind of weird. Our Prime Minister, not our Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of England now has it too. Why do I always forget his name? Because that's what I'm doing right now. Because trust me, I'll get it wrong. Oh, Boris Johnson. Yeah, he just had, he has the coronavirus right now. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says tide can be turned in the coronavirus fight within 12 weeks. He has it, though, which is really a shame. Man just got in the office, and now he's got, I guess everybody, because he does travel, I guess, a lot, and he's obviously going to be more prone to get it. So, yeah, our, British Prime Minister, not our, I'm just saying that in a roundabout way, has it. a friend had sent me this because, he knows I like, not that I listen to a lot of it, but the band Rammstein, frontman Till Liederman, or is it Liedman, reportedly out of critical condition, tests negative for coronavirus. I thought they said he did have it. Following a solo concert performance in Moscow earlier in the month, Till Liedman, 57, frontman of the acclaimed German rock group Rammstein, complained of high fever. He was immediately taken to the hospital and seen by an emergency doctor. During examination, he was tested for the coronavirus and was diagnosed with a pneumonia. I can't say that. Before being transferred to an intensive care unit. The second test, however, indicated that the singer has not contracted the coronavirus. So that seems like a false alarm, because I did see some other links that said that he did have it. Now they're saying he did not have it. He just had, another type of, sickness, ailment, whatever, because I'm not going to try to repeat that word and get it wrong again. I want to wean to get this in before it's too late, the other segment I want to play. KYW News, they said that got to have Wawa get online. Made-to-order food suspended in Philly during the COVID-19 crisis. Wawa stores in Philadelphia are suspended made-to-order food services in all city locations in response to coronavirus outbreak. For now, customers must forego the touch screen at all 42 Philly Wawa locations. It says that the company says in-store ordering for hoagies and other items is on hold as of 5 a.m. on Friday. So if you do that, which I've done it, I haven't been in Wawa in a very long time, you won't be able to go in and do that touchscreen business thing. PA shoppers flock to neighboring states as Liquor Control Board considers reopening some online businesses. The Wolf administration is resisting a lobbying campaign to reopen all 600 wine and spirit stores, which were closed to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board's Sean Kelly said the agency will not be reopening the brick and mortar operations, but is considering resuming limited online sales as it continues to monitor the outbreak along with the governor and the state health officials. Where am I at right now? Because I want to make sure I got some type of level on my damn thing. The latest area coronavirus updates from the Norristown, PA patch. Let's see. As the coronavirus outbreak continues across Pennsylvania, vast impacts are being felt in Montgomery County and the greater Norristown area, including closures of schools and numerous businesses. Social distancing recommendation and stay-at-home orders have led to a radical shift in everyday life. All non-life sustaining businesses in Pennsylvania have been closed. A total of 313 positive cases of coronavirus were found in Montgomery County on Thursday afternoon. Statewide total 1,687 people in Pennsylvania, and 16 are dead, including 3 Montgomery County residents, 2 victims from Abington and 1 from White Marsh. Norristown currently has 3 cases of the virus. Nearby Lower Providence has 25. Collegeville has 3. Conchy has 5. White Marsh has 8. And Plymouth has 8 on Thursday afternoon. But when was this written? This was on the 26th. So that's the update for where I live. And again, that's like kind of serious, I think. Now, this, I don't know if this is like an Onion News thing, the next story I'm going to read. But I think it's kind of funny. Mexican protesters demand to shut down the U.S. border over fear Americans will be bringing in the coronavirus. A lot of strange and unprecedented things have happened during the coronavirus outbreak so far, but never thought we would see the day where Mexico is trying to stop Americans from crossing the border into their country. It sounds like something from the Twilight Zone, but it's something that is actually happening right now. Reports state that the residents of Mexican state of Sonora, which is just south of Arizona, is blocking all traffic in Mexico from U.S. after it closed its border checkpoint on Wednesday out of fear of infected Americans entering the country. Again, I don't know if that's for real or not, but I just think the whole thing is freaking hilarious. There's more to it, but I will not read it because my time is going to be very precious at this point. U.S., unfortunately, this is CNN. U.S. coronavirus cases reach more than 100,000 as reported deaths hit near daily high. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States topped 101,000 on Friday as infections quickly spread to new areas in the country. As of Friday evening, the U.S. has hit 101 again, 242 known cases of coronavirus, and 1,588 people have died, according to CNN's tally of cases reported by health officials. And there's more to that story. But again, I just want to get through so I will have enough time to get to my main segment. I should fit that in soon. I think between this pile of stories, I'm going to put that in with the Ken Matthews thing. There's a link on the Mirror. I think that's a British paper. Amazon delivery driver caught spitting on hands and wiping it on parcels. The doorbell camera captured a moment an Amazon delivery driver appeared to spit into his hands and wipe it on the package he had delivered, which the recipients labeled reckless during the current coronavirus pandemic. Now, you're probably thinking, I just said this is probably England. Well, I do buy things from England from Amazon, so they do have Amazon in other countries, so it could be a possibility. Oh, sorry about this. I thought I turned them all off, but I didn't. Apologize about that. News, Fox News. AOC blasts coronavirus. Stimulus blames GOP for not granting checks to all immigrants. You should say illegal immigrants. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, DNY, does not share the enthusiasm Democratic leaders showed towards the coronavirus stimulus bill that the Senate passed this week after extensive negotiations, claiming that the provisions would send money to individuals who do not go far enough. According to the bill, the non-residential aliens are not eligible for the payments, which are generally $1,200. For those who file for taxes as individuals, and $2,400 for those who file jointly. So I'm hoping for my parents' sake that they can get a little bit of this money because they don't have very much money. So that would definitely be appreciated in their part, I'm sure. And probably my friend Matt's parents, too, if they're eligible, which I'm sure they are. Because they both work, too. Another British paper, I had an article, and I got to really watch. I got to put this in soon. The Sun, royal tragedy. Princess Maria Teresa of Spain dies age 86 after testing positive for coronavirus to become the first royal death. Let's see, because I'm just going to kind of go quickly to get to my next thing. You know what? Maybe after this one, I'm going to put in, because this is one, it's on, looks like NBC News. Yeah, it's NBC News, and I'm going to put in the Ken Matthews thing. CDC asked residents of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut to refrain from non-essential travel for 14 days. And I am looking for a date. This was March 28th. This was posted. And it's the 29th. And I was just like on Friday. Washington, it says, President Donald Trump backed away from early comments Saturday that he was considering enforcing a quarantine in New York and New Jersey, and Connecticut areas after state officials questioned whether Trump had the authority to implement a quarantine and accused him of creating confusion. Instead, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention issued a travel advisory asking residents to refrain from non-essential travel for 14 days. And remember, this happened, Trump put this in place or had mentioned this on Friday of this past week. Effective immediately, it says. The advisory does not apply to people who work for critical infrastructure industries, including but not limited to trucking, public health professionals, financial services, and food supplies, the CDC said in a statement. A quarantine will not be necessary, Trump tweeted Saturday night, which was tonight. Well, it was tonight, but full details will be released by CDC tonight. So actually, it is technically now Sunday morning, but it is Saturday night for me. So if I would look it up, which I will not, you will probably find something, depending on when you hear about this, because it's going to be old news by the time this goes up, to see if he actually did quarantine New York for them not following what he had requested, which I'm sure they're not, because I hate to say sorry about that again. But the bottom line is people don't listen. That's the bottom line. They don't listen. This is the problem. So forgive me for that again. I thought I blocked out all these audio segments or these video segments, but they keep on popping up when I open my story. So right now, finally, I'm going to get to the point that I'm going to play guest host Ken Matthews on Rush Limbaugh. It's a 3-minute segment. Again, I hope you enjoy it.
You brought up sanctuary cities, and I said to a friend of mine, I said, is there anybody in the news media that's going to put out a map of the United States and look and see if there's a correlation to this particular, they're calling it epicenters. You know, New York, they're saying New Orleans can be next. Los Angeles is one for the COVID. And it's crazy that these are all sanctuary cities, and they're all run by liberal progressives. Is anybody going to call someone out on that and say, why is it that the most liberal, progressive, leftist cities that are sanctuary cities, and in the case of California, sanctuary states, why are they having such a problem with everything?
Well, listen, I wouldn't get into the details of it. I'm I'm not a doctor or a statistician. Obviously there's something to do with densities. There's probably, but the reality is this, the fact that now when you have an unprecedented aid package going out to the American people, trying to put them back to work, and the Democrats are prioritizing illegals, those who aren't supposed to be here.
Exactly.
Over the American people and getting them back to work and their jobs. I mean, maybe this is, unfortunately, I don't want to ever think about anything good that comes from it, but, you got to learn from, your problems. You got to learn from the bad times. You learn a lot more from them than you do from the good times. Maybe the American people will finally wake up and see what the Democrats exactly are prioritizing. When I see that they're prioritizing illegals, rich people in museums, yada, yada, yada. I'm saying, what is going on here? How about leave all of those things out of it? We can get back to politics when we get this thing totally under control, but that they would try to weaponize this. You saw what Clyburn said the other day. Well, this is a great opportunity to push forward our agenda. You saw Joe Biden say the same thing about using this to push the Green New Deal. Now remember, people are worried about a $2 trillion stimulus package being too much, but a $93 trillion, something, 46 times more expensive?
Yeah,
for the
new Green Deal.
To stop farting cows and air travel.
I know.
We got to worry about emissions at a time like this. So to push something 45 times more expensive than this unprecedented thing, something that would go 15 times our existence, it's crazy.
And then even crazier, who have you met yet? I haven't met anyone yet that can explain the new Green Deal. So
no one
that's
can.
The other part of it.
They deny aspects of it. I mean, when it was originally written, remember, we need to make sure we have a working wage for those not willing to work. I'm saying, wait a second. Not able to work? No. Not willing to work. Oh, that's wonderful. Just what I want my taxpayer dollars. People who don't want to work. I come on, guys. This is insanity. But
I call it the communist loophole. That's what they did with this. This whole thing is a communist loophole, in my opinion.
Communist loophole. I like that part. Actually, you know what? It was funny. I was going to actually call my show that communist loophole, but then I changed it. Worded it to in a nutshell. Things in a nutshell, because it kind of is. Everything rounded up that I try to say and maybe don't explain properly. But that thing with Ken Matthews and Donald Trump Jr. was perfect. The good thing about the segments, both of them now, is I'm actually at 40 minutes, and I like to keep them around 45, 50 minutes if I can. I try to, I'm going to try to keep them under an hour if I can, my shows, just because it seems to make a little bit listening to me a bit easier to do so. Anyway, a couple of the stories. I'm going to try to read as many as I can before the end of the hour. Matt, your concern is what piece of music I'm going to put in tonight, and I dug through the ones you had sent me for the past couple of weeks. I really enjoyed the one called Robo. I don't think I used that, so I'm going to use that tonight. I'm going to let you know now. There was a story from Fox News. Hundreds dead in Iran after consuming methanol, thinking it was coronavirus protection. So that was kind of interesting. More than 300 people have died, and a further 1,000 have fallen in Iran after consuming methanol in belief that it will protect them against coronavirus, according to local media. Fake remedies have spread across Iranian social media, with methanol simply the latest supposed cure. As an Islamic nation, the consumption of alcohol is banned, but bootleggers have distributed industrial alcohol. I think I might have heard something about this elsewhere. Other countries have only one problem, which is the new coronavirus pandemic, said Dr. Hassan Hussein, an advisor to Iran's health ministry, who claimed that the problem could be more severe than reported. We have both cure and, let me reread that. We have to both cure people with the alcohol poisoning and also fight the coronavirus. So now they have two problems in Iran. I don't know. That's interesting. I want to say it's funny. Daily Mail, there was a story that caught my eye, so I figured I'll put it in there. I'm trying to keep this kind of on the same topic at this point, obviously. So, Daily Mail, short nails are in. Experts reveal long and false talons are a coronavirus risk because they can trap the virus underneath. An expert has warned against the dangers of long nails. Varnish and extensions carry amid the coronavirus epidemic. So basically, even though I just botched that up, long nails could be a possible way of carrying the virus and giving it to others. So, ladies, the long nails are now out. Yeah, it's jumping back and forth. But yeah, did I read this last time? I don't remember, but this was from it only says 7 hours ago, but it doesn't really give the specific date. But it's from North Penn area. COVID-19 cases up 24, Montco up to 404 cases, 5 deaths. Montgomery County officials announced nearly 3 dozen new COVID-19 cases on Saturday, with 4 of them occurring in North Penn area and several more reported in neighbor municipalities. According to the update released by Montgomery County officials on Saturday, I bet you any money this was probably from last Saturday. I'm probably almost 100% sure. Saturday afternoon, a total of 33 new positive tests for COVID-19 coronavirus have been reported since Friday, bringing the current county-wide total to 404. Hardest hit areas to be Lower Merion Township with 71 cases, Abington Township with 32 cases and 2 deaths, Lower Providence, which I live in, with 28 cases, and Cheltenham Township with 29 cases and 1 death. In the North Penn area, there are a total of 24 positive cases being reported, with 8 in Montgomery Township, 4 in Tallamencee Township, 5 in Upper Gwinnett Township, 4 in Lansdale Borough, and 3 in Hatfield Township. So there's more to say about that. But again, I think this is probably last week's. This is the thing I don't like, because it doesn't really give you a specific date. It just says 7 hours ago, and I seriously doubt that is true. I can try to refresh it and see if that changes anything. Oh, actually, wait a minute, because now it says 9 hours ago. So, yeah, I guess this is a news story. 4 positive cases in Lower Salford Township, 6 positive cases in Skipback Township, 10 positive cases in Worcester Township, 10 positive cases in Whitpain Township, 9 positive cases in Lower Gwinnett Township, 8 positive cases in Horsham Township, 3 active cases in Sodderton Borough, 1 active case in Franconia Township. In total, 399 of the county-wide cases remain active, and 5 deaths have been reported. So this was actually today. That's amazing. But, going back, the people just don't listen. Right now, I don't hear anybody on the road, so that's surprising. A friend, he actually sent me from Rosemary as well, was a letter she had posted, and about the seriousness of how Jersey and New York people need to stay away from the Pocono area, because they just travel back and forth carelessly, and they are infecting a lot of people because of that. So it says that Rosemary, that was the first segment I played earlier on the show, is a state representative, 189 legislative district. Rosemary Brown. And, that's actually on my Facebook page. She has her own Facebook thing. It's PA State Representative Rosemary Brown. Very lovely lady. I don't know anything about her, though. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I told the one friend, and I'm getting near the end of the show anyway. He didn't know what I was talking about, so I sent him. It's like, yeah, excuse me, thank you for that order. That article, that's my COVID-19 cough, by the way. Turkish authorities set fire to camp on Everest border to force illegal immigrants to leave. I found it kind of entertaining in some sense of the word. Breaking news: Turkish authorities have set fire to the tents housing illegal immigrants on their side of Everest border. According to the report, Turkish authorities are forcing the illegal immigrants onto buses to transport them to unknown locations. So I said this to, like, not this particular story, but I said to a friend at work who's more of a Democrat, on the Democrat side, I said, do you think this is going to change people's outlook on the amount of immigrants come into any given country after this settles down, after this dust from this coronavirus settles down? And he doesn't think so. He thinks it's going to be like business as usual. Not that he said that. I'm saying that. But that's what he's kind of implying. I don't think so. I think this is going to definitely change the way people look at outsiders, no matter where they come from. That's just my speculation. One of the illegal immigrants caught up in the chaos on the social media, stating that it seems like the Turkish authorities are preparing for evacuation of the camp at... Oh, forget that one. Some people inside were told to pack their things. Others had their shelters destroyed by police. Police have been telling our team, as well as the people inside the camp, that they will evacuate for a long time already. Now, it seems like they are really preparing for it. We don't know when it happens, when will it happen. And nobody knows where the thousands of people still in the camp would be brought to. What we do know, according to this article, is that all the people that endured the situation for weeks and will still be at the border will not be leaving voluntarily. So, basically, after my major screw-up, this is like one incident that Turkey is just fed up. They're tired of this nonsense. Now, I couldn't find it. There was an article I saw, or I heard it on the radio. Like, right now, the United States has surpassed China's amount of people with the coronavirus. Like, it came out of China, I believe, right? The coronavirus. Well, the amount of cases in the United States has surpassed what China had. And I heard, or I read something, that India is going to be the next one. It's going to be the next biggest one. It's not right now, but it is. And if they continue to ignore these, stay off the street things in India, that they will lose 75% of their population. It was something like that. It was something really high. And I really don't think people are still listening to or taking the advice of their government in India, and they continue to do whatever they feel like they want to do. So, but it was a rather high number. Okay, it was a story. This is not the one. I can't find the one that I originally had found, or heard about, but yeah, it was really high. And apparently the only place that wasn't infected yet somehow, and it is going up in numbers, is Bangladesh. That's part of India. Anyway, so I was curious about this stuff because we have a lot of folks that are from Bangladesh and wonder how bad it was, and it is on the rise. Anyway, one story I found was in India, the world's biggest lockdown has forced migrants to walk hundreds of miles home. So, New Delhi, the workers set out on foot in the wee hours of the morning for villages hundreds of miles away, walking along the road they helped build in the past apartment towers they helped to raise. So bottom line is, like, they got a lot of these migrants to help build, apartment situations in India. And these immigrants that were allowed into the country are now being told you need to leave. So they are forcing them out because of the lockdown. India has began a 21-day nationwide lockdown, the biggest in the world, in a desperate bid to stop the coronavirus from spreading out of control in this densely populated nation of 1.3 billion people. That is a lot of people in India. They are the second highest populated nations is India. China being number one, but they're number two. They're actually going to probably surpass China because there are so many Indian people in India. There are more than 700 confirmed cases in India, a number that is rising rapidly because 700 doesn't seem that awfully bad compared to the U.S. and considering their population. Non-essential businesses are shut down. State borders are closed. Regular traffic and people have been asked to stay in their homes except for food and medicine. Well, that's the same thing here, and people don't listen. I am running out of time, and I want to play Matt's song. I said it was called Robo, I believe. So I might let it go with that, but yeah. So here's the thing, though. Yeah, people don't listen. I know. I've said that a million times, and I'm going to say it a million more times. Yeah, the rest of these stories are not important, so I'm not going to read them. I'm shutting them all down. My friend Todd, actually, he brought it to my attention. He said in India, where people in India aren't paying attention, the cops are beating the crap out of people who are going out, like they're whipping them. Individuals who are not following the rules. Like, okay, if you're not going to listen, we're going to beat the crap out of you. And they do. They have video footage of it. So I can't show that, obviously. And I would do a rip, but who wants to hear audio of some guy being whipped? It's not that exciting. One last thing, though. 12 more die in Pennsylvania from coronavirus. 500 new cases found. And when was this story? This was the 28th. That was what, Friday? And I got to get this in really quick. Yeah, it was Friday. This was a story I had. I don't think I read this yet, or did I read this? It's the highest number of virus deaths recorded in the state in a single day since the outbreak began. Pennsylvania, this is. 12 more residents have died from coronavirus in Pennsylvania state, officials announced Saturday. It's the highest number of deaths recorded in a single day since the outbreak began and brings the state total to 34 deaths. In addition, 533 new cases are announced Saturday and a similar spike on Friday. 531 new cases. The state's total positive is now at 2,751 as of Saturday afternoon. There is more. You can see this on my webpage, folks. This is Walter from iWalter. Listen to Matt's little segment called Robo that is coming up now as the show has ended for tonight. Have a good one.